Welcome back, brave souls, to another journey into the depths of the unknown. Gather round, for tonight, we delve into the shadows, where whispers linger and fear takes shape. Prepare yourselves, for I will unveil 5 dreadful tales that will chill you to the bone and send shivers down your spine. In the darkness, secrets lurk, waiting to be unearthed. Each tale is a thread in the tapestry of terror, weaving a web of suspense and dread that will haunt your dreams. So, my friends, steel your nerves and brace yourselves, for what you are about to hear will leave you trembling with fear. Let us descend into the unknown abyss, where nightmares become reality and the darkness reigns supreme. Welcome to 5 dreadful tales that will leave you questioning what lies beyond the veil of reality. Our first dreadful tale, The Howling Woods. In the heart of the howling woods, where ancient trees stood like sentinels guarding secrets buried beneath the forest floor, Dylan and Chloe sought refuge from the chaos of the world. Their decision to venture into the isolated wilderness was driven by a desire to escape the mundane and embrace the untamed beauty of nature. Little did they know, however, that their quest for serenity would plunge them into a nightmare from which there would be no awakening. Park Ranger Davis had tried to dissuade them, his weathered face etched with lines of concern, as he recounted tales of the wood's dark past. Legends whispered of a curse that had befallen the land centuries ago, a curse born of betrayal and bloodshed, woven into the very fabric of the forest itself. But Dylan and Chloe, young and naive, dismissed his warnings as the ramblings of a superstitious old man, their hearts set on their adventure beneath the moonlit canopy. As night descended upon the howling woods, casting its shadowy cloak over the land, Dylan and Chloe set up camp amidst the towering trees. The crackling of the fire provided a false sense of security, its flickering light dancing playfully upon their faces as they shared tales and laughter under the star-studded sky. But beneath the surface, a tension simmered, a primal instinct warning them of the lurking danger that lurked just beyond the reach of their senses. It was not until the moon rose high in the heavens, casting its silvery glow upon the forest below, that their idyllic retreat descended into chaos. A haunting howl pierced the stillness of the night, its mournful cry echoing through the trees like a harbinger of doom. Dylan's blood ran cold, his instincts screaming at him to flee, but it was too late. From the depths of the shadows emerged a creature of nightmares, its form twisted and contorted, a grotesque fusion of man and beast. The werewolf, driven by an insatiable hunger and fueled by the ancient curse that bound it to the land, stalked its prey with ruthless determination. In a blur of fur and fangs, the creature descended upon them, its eyes burning with a primal fury as it tore through the campsite with savage abandon. Dylan and Chloe's screams pierced the night, their voices drowned out by the beast's deafening roar as it unleashed its wrath upon them. Desperate and afraid, they fought with all their might, but it was futile against the unstoppable force that bore down upon them. With each swipe of its claws and each snap of its jaws, the creature's grip tightened, its hunger driving it to consume their very souls. In the end, there was only darkness. The howling woods claimed them as its own, their bodies swallowed by the unforgiving earth, their spirits condemned to wander the twisted labyrinth of the forest for all eternity. And so evil prevailed in the howling woods, its ancient curse claiming yet another pair of unwitting victims. And as the moon hung heavy in the sky, casting its eerie glow upon the land below, the woods whispered a chilling reminder to all who dared to tread its haunted paths: beware the darkness, for within it lies the true face of evil. Our next dreadful tale, The Forest of Lost Souls. In the heart of the enchanted forest, where moonlight struggled to penetrate the dense canopy and shadows whispered secrets of forgotten tales, loomed the ominous expanse known as the Forest of Lost Souls. Nathan and Emily, 2 brave souls heedless of the warnings that echoed through neighboring villages, ventured into the forest's dark embrace, drawn by a curiosity that bordered on recklessness. As they traversed the twisting paths, Emily found herself increasingly entranced by the eerie beauty surrounding them. But as the night deepened, a sinister presence emerged from the shadows, the witch, her form a spectral wisp amid the darkness, her eyes gleaming with otherworldly hunger. Despite Nathan's warnings, Emily felt an inexplicable pull towards the witch, her curiosity tinged with a dangerous fascination. The witch, sensing her vulnerability, the witch whispered promises of power beyond imagination, enticing Emily to forsake all caution in pursuit of her desires. In a moment of weakness, Emily succumbed to the witch's seductive charms, striking a desperate bargain to claim the witch's power as her own. The price? Nathan's very soul. As Nathan's suspicions grew, Emily's demeanor shifted, her once gentle gaze now clouded by shadows of deceit. With a heart heavy with guilt yet consumed by ambition, Emily lured Nathan into the witch's clutches, betraying him in the cruelest ways. With a sorrowful gaze, Nathan watched as Emily, consumed by her thirst for power, offered his soul as a sacrifice to the witch. In that fateful instant, Nathan's essence was torn from his mortal frame, leaving behind only a hollow shell. As Nathan's soul was consumed by the witch's insatiable hunger, Emily felt a surge of dark energy coursing through her veins, empowering her with the witch's malevolent magic. But as she reveled in her newfound strength, a chill crept into her heart, for she knew that she was now bound to the witch's will, forever shackled to a fate darker than she could have ever imagined. With Nathan's soul lost to the depths of the forest, Emily emerged from the shadows, her outward facade a mask of sorrow and remorse. Yet deep within, a twisted smile hinted at the darkness that now dwelled within her soul. As she ventured forth into the world beyond, Emily knew that her path was forever altered, her destiny entwined with the witch's malevolent legacy. And as she disappeared into the depths of the forest, she left behind a trail of whispers and shadows, her heart consumed by the hunger for power that would drive her to create her own kingdom of darkness, where lost souls would wander for eternity, ensnared by the same darkness that had claimed her own. As Emily emerged from the shadows of the enchanted forest, her heart desiring more power fed by her first betrayal and her soul tainted by the darkness she had unleashed, she stumbled upon a lonely road that wound its way through the desolate countryside. It was there, under the flickering glow of the moon, that she encountered a nameless young couple parked by the side of the road to enjoy the night breeze. Their faces were etched with careless wonder, their eyes filled with a flicker of bewilderment as they beheld Emily's approach. Driven by a twisted sense of amusement, Emily feigned distress, her voice trembling as she spun a tale of being lost and alone in the forest. The couple, their hearts brimming with compassion, offered her a ride, eager to lend a helping hand to a stranger in need. As they drove off into the unknown, the couple unaware of the darkness that lurked within their midst, Emily's facade of innocence began to crumble, revealing the malevolent gleam that danced in her eyes. With each passing mile, her grin widened, her thoughts consumed by the thrill of the hunt. For in that moment she knew that she had found her next unsuspecting victims, their fate sealed by the same darkness that had claimed Nathan's soul. As the car disappeared into the night, Emily's laughter echoed through the darkness, a chilling reminder of the horrors that lay in wait within the forest of lost souls. And as she vanished into the shadows once more, her heart ablaze with the hunger for power, she left behind a trail of sorrow and despair, her legacy destined to haunt the land for eternity. Our next dreadful tale, Forest of the Wendigo. In the heart of the frozen wilderness, where the Forest of the Wendigo loomed like a specter of dread, Connor and Grace set foot upon its snow-laden trails. Ignorant of the warnings whispered by Park Ranger Thompson, they ventured forth, their breath hanging heavy in the icy air, their footsteps muffled by the blanket of frost. As they trekked deeper into the wilderness, the ominous chill of the forest seemed to seep into their bones. Connor's nerves jangled with each rustle of the wind, and Grace's laughter grew hollow as they journeyed further from the safety of civilization. Yet they pressed on, driven by a reckless curiosity that blinded them to the danger that lurked in the shadows. As night descended like a shroud, casting the forest into an abyss of darkness, The presence of the Wendigo grew ever more palpable. Its icy breath brushed against their skin, chilling them to the core as it stalked them with silent malevolence. With each step they felt its hunger gnawing at the edges of their sanity, a primal urge that drove it ever closer to its prey. In the depths of the forest, the Wendigo struck with ferocious cunning. With a savage roar, it descended upon Connor, its claws tearing through flesh and bone with merciless precision. Left battered and barely clinging to life, Connor watched helplessly as the creature turned its gaze upon Grace, its hunger unsated and its thirst for blood unquenched. With a desperate cry, Grace tried to flee, but it was futile. The Wendigo's grasp was unrelenting, its icy grip dragging her into the darkness beyond. As Connor's vision faded and consciousness slipped away, he could hear the echoes of Grace's screams piercing the night, as she was taken into the depths of its lair, hidden from the prying eyes of the world. Grace met a fate far worse than death, as she became sustenance for the creature and its unholy brood. Her screams of terror and anguish as she was torn apart were amplified by the dark passage of the lair, a haunting symphony of terror that echoed through the forest. When Connor awoke, he found himself alone in the icy embrace of the wilderness, his body broken and his spirit shattered. But to his horror, he realized he was not alone. The Wendigo stood before him, its eyes burning with an insatiable hunger that sent shivers down his spine. But instead of finishing him off, the Wendigo spoke, its voice a chilling whisper that seemed to emanate from the very depths of the forest. It offered Connor a twisted bargain, his life in exchange for his service as a harbinger of death. He was to return to civilization, to lure unsuspecting travelers into the clutches of the Wendigo so that it may feast upon their flesh and grow stronger. With no other choice but to accept, Connor became a puppet of the Wendigo, a slave to its insatiable hunger. As he limped back toward civilization marked by the Wendigo before his release, the echoes of Grace's screams haunted his every step, a grim reminder of the horrors that awaited those who dared to venture into the forest of the Wendigo. Our next dreadful tale, The Cursed Woods. In the heart of a realm shrouded in mystery and fear, lay a foreboding expanse known only as the Dark Woods. Its dense canopy loomed over the land like a sinister veil, concealing secrets whispered by the wind and shadows that danced with malicious intent. Few dared to tread its paths, for it was said that the very trees themselves whispered of ancient curses and malevolent spirits that prowled the undergrowth. Liam and Chloe, two intrepid souls with hearts laced with curiosity and tempered by bravery, found themselves drawn to the allure of the enchanted forest. Ignoring the warnings of wary villagers and the ominous tales spun by crackling firesides, they embarked on a journey into the heart of darkness, guided only by the flickering light of their torches. As they ventured deeper into the tangled labyrinth of gnarled branches and twisted roots, the air grew heavy with a palpable sense of foreboding. Every step seemed to echo with the hushed breath of unseen watchers, and the shadows danced with a sinister glee, eager to ensnare the unwary. Forest Ranger Carter, a grizzled guardian of the woods, had long patrolled its borders, safeguarding the world beyond from the malevolence that dwelled within. But even he could not deny the allure of the cursed woods, and so he joined Liam and Chloe on their perilous quest, a beacon of hope amidst the encroaching darkness. Yet as the moon cast its eerie glow upon the forest floor, their journey took a sinister turn. Whispers filled the night air, carried upon a chill wind that stirred the leaves like restless spirits. Eyes gleamed in the shadows, glowing with a hunger that sent shivers down their spines. It was then that they stumbled upon the legend of the cursed woods, whispered by the very trees themselves in hushed tones of fear and despair. Long ago, it was said, the forest had been home to a tribe of ancient spirits, guardians of nature's balance and stewards of the land. But greed and hubris had corrupted their hearts, and in their arrogance they had unleashed a curse upon the land, condemning it to eternal darkness. Now those same spirits haunted the shadows, twisted and corrupted by centuries of bitterness and rage. They hungered for souls to sate their thirst for vengeance, and Liam and Chloe had unwittingly stumbled into their domain. As the night wore on, they found themselves beset by horrors beyond comprehension. Shadows twisted and writhed, taking on grotesque forms that clawed at their sanity. Trees whispered twisted lullabies, their branches reaching out like gnarled fingers to ensnare the unwary. But through it all, Liam, Chloe, and Ranger Carter stood firm, their resolve unbroken even as the darkness threatened to consume them. With each step, they defied the curse that bound the forest, their courage a beacon of light in a world drowned in shadow. And yet, despite their bravery, the curse of the dark woods proved unyielding. As dawn broke and the first rays of sunlight pierced the veil of night, Liam, Chloe, and Ranger Carter found themselves trapped for all eternity within its twisted embrace. Bound by the ancient spirit's wrath, they would wander the cursed woods forevermore, their souls condemned to a fate worse than death. And so, as the world beyond continued on, oblivious to their plight, the legend of the cursed woods grew ever darker, whispered in hushed tones by those who dared to tread its haunted paths. Liam, Chloe, and Ranger Carter became but spectral echoes of a time long past, forever lost within the labyrinth of shadows and despair. In last but not least, our final dreadful tale of this session, the Forest of Whispers. In the heart of the Forest of Whispers, where the shadows clung like a suffocating shroud, Ava and Dylan found themselves ensnared in a nightmare from which there seemed to be no escape. Their journey had begun with a reckless sense of adventure, fueled by the whispers of an old legend that spoke of spirits luring unsuspecting travelers to their doom. Despite the warnings of Forest Ranger Thompson, they plunged deeper into the darkness, their footsteps echoing like a solemn dirge through the twisted undergrowth. The forest seemed to come alive around them, the trees swaying with an eerie rhythm that sent shivers down their spines. Whispers, soft and insidious, filled the air, weaving their way through the branches like a siren's call. "Stay," they seemed to murmur, their voices barely audible above the rustling of the leaves. "Stay and become one with the darkness." Ava and Dylan exchanged nervous glances, their hearts pounding with a mixture of fear and excitement. "We should turn back," Dylan muttered, his voice barely audible above the cacophony of the forest. But Ava, her curiosity piqued by the unknown, pressed on, her determination masking the gnawing sense of unease that gnawed at her insides. They stumbled upon an old cabin, its weathered walls sagging with age and neglect. Despite the overwhelming sense of foreboding that washed over them, they entered, drawn by an inexplicable force that seemed to emanate from within. Inside, the air was thick with the scent of decay, and the walls seemed to pulse with a sinister energy. Ava and Dylan exchanged uneasy glances as they explored the cabin's interior, their footsteps echoing like the tolling of a funeral bell. Suddenly, a voice echoed through the darkness, icy and filled with malice. "Leave this place," it whispered, sending shivers down their spines. But before they could heed the warning, the shadows around them began to twist and contort, taking on grotesque shapes that seemed to writhe with a life of their own. Ava and Dylan stumbled backward in horror as the spirits of the forest closed in around them, their whispers growing louder with each passing moment. "Join us," they hissed, their voices echoing through the darkness like a chorus of the damned. "Join us in eternal darkness." Desperation clawed at their hearts as they fled through the darkness, their lungs burning with exertion. But no matter how fast they ran, the forest seemed to stretch on endlessly, its twisted paths leading them deeper into the abyss. It was then that they stumbled upon an ancient altar, its surface etched with strange symbols that seemed to pulse with a malevolent energy. As they approached, a sense of dread washed over them, and they knew that they had stumbled upon something far more sinister than they could have ever imagined. But it was too late. The spirits, driven by a tragic love story that had ended in betrayal and despair, had already claimed Ava and Dylan as their own. And as the darkness closed in around them, their screams echoed through the forest, a haunting reminder of the price paid for meddling in the affairs of the dead. For Ava and Dylan were trapped forever in the Forest of Whispers, their souls bound to the darkness that lurked within its depths, condemned to wander its twisted paths for all eternity. And as the whispers of the forest echoed through the night, a chilling reminder of the horrors that awaited those foolish enough to enter its realm. Alas, we have reached the end of this session of 5 dreadful tales. And thank you all for joining me as we explored those 5 dreadful tales that sent shivers down our spines. If you found them as hauntingly captivating as I did, make sure to hit that subscribe button below to never miss out on our future hair-raising content. Your support truly fuels this channel, and I can't wait to continue sharing more bone-chilling stories with you. Until next time, embrace the darkness, stay curious, and remember to keep those lights on.